सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। ॐ श्री हयग्रीवाय नमः। ॐ श्री वल्लभा समेत श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः। So we were looking at the portion where Bellangonda Ramaraya Kavi has summarized the Siddhanta. Okay. So if you see here, एतेन जीवन मुक्ति सुख अभिलाषिना एव निरंतरम आत्मध्यानं कर्तव्यम विदेह मुक्ति कामिना तु आत्म साक्षात्कार एव संपाद्य इति विवेकः सिद्धः. So one who is desirous of जीवन मुक्ति has to have certain chitta naischalya, correct? And when the mind is not in any kind of chalana, correct? Doesn't have any activity, let us say, then it is considered that it actually truly reflects the nature of oneself. So that is considered to be also a state where there is ananda avapti. Therefore, it's a desirable state, no doubt. But more important is the jnanam that aham nirvikalpaha. So even though there is a vikalpa and all that, it doesn't really matter because those are all only mithya. Like you don't have to stop all the waves in the ocean to know that both ocean and wave are really water, correct? Of course, when the waves are there, there may be some bubbles and other things which are actually creating some confusion, let us say, for understanding the nature of it. But once you have understood that really the names and forms do not matter, even the activity of the mind does not really matter. The mind is a mind, it has its own nature, and in fact, as long as the Atma Buddhi is not there, that is good enough really. Even such a person is really only a Jivan Mukta. The one who does not look upon oneself as a Karta Bhokta can be involved in any kind of activity also. Bhagavan says so much in the Gita about different lifestyles of Jnani, and in that the Janakadayaha are there, those who are even kings, correct? And there are also people who didn't even take care of their own body. Even that was taken care of by other people, correct? So they just left their own, whatever, the life also to prarabdha. So it can be any way. There is no rule regarding how a jnani should live, really speaking, because jnani has gone beyond any vidhi or nishedha and all that. Because jnani is not even a karta. So that is the idea here. So whether you are always sitting in some kind of a samadhi or whether you are involved in teaching people and writing book, etc., it all, you only know. It is jnani swanubhava is the most important thing here. And Atma Sakshatkara, as long as it is there, then everybody is really a videha mukti only, muktaha. Okay. In fact, vimuktascha vimuchyate. So being a vimuktaha only, again, that is being a jivan mukta, you become videha muktaha. So what we say finally is that therefore what? Whether you keep on repeating the teaching or at some point you have understood it so well that you don't every day repeat, I am human being, and all that, correct? Because that is sahaja. For ajnani, The Ajnani is not repeating every day that I am a human being, or I am so and so, I am the daughter of somebody or son of somebody, etc. That is sahaja. Like that, Jnani also need not be doing all these things, repetition, etc. Marana paryantam, up till the time you die. Some people can do that, whoever needs that. Okay. So whichever vritti destroys the ajnana, then you have got Atma Sakshatkara, and that vritti jnana only can destroy the ajnanam, therefore from the vritti jnana only, correct? So, asakritva or whatever, sakrit, okay? So, asakrit avrittad, anavrittad, he says, okay? So, whether you are doing avritti means repetition or not, whichever vritti destroys your ajnana, correct? Vritti jnanat atma vishayat atma sakshatkaraha atma sakshatkare sati jantuhu kaivalyam prapnoti iti siddhantaha. So from the vritti jnana, which is the atma vishaya vritti jnana, which is the akhandakara vritti, we say, one gains atma sakshatkara, and that only is moksha. Idam cha atmakaram vritti jnanam vicharitat vedanta mahavakyadeva jayate. And how do we get this vritti jnanam? By doing vichara of the Vedanta Mahavakya, Shravana Manana Nididhyasana has to be done. So now here the Purva Pakshi comes back and says what? Nacha Swargadi Vakyadiva Vedanta Vakyadapina Aparoksha Jnana Janaka Vritti Avirbhavaha iti Vachyam. So the Purva Pakshi is saying what? Like even the Swargadi Vakya, because Swarga is Nitya Paroksha, in fact. Nobody can recognize or verify it sitting here. And if somebody says, I went to Swarga and came back also, you look at that person as some kind of a nutcase, correct? So, like that, Swarga, etc., also is revealed by the Veda, but it is Paroksha. And in fact, some people maintain that Shabda or words can only give Paroksha Jnanam, it cannot give Aparoksha Jnana. No, we don't accept that, okay? Okay, so now they are saying what, like the Swargadi Vakya, even the Vedanta Vakyas cannot give Aparoksha Jnanam. It cannot produce this Aparoksha Jnana. Okay, now what is the answer? So we are saying Na Vachyam, you cannot say that. Why? Swargadehe Parokshatvat Tatra Tathastu. Because the Vishaya which is revealed itself is Paroksha, like Swarga is Nitya Paroksha, like I said. Therefore, it is fine. Wherever something is not directly available for your perception, their words can reveal indirectly, which is fine. But Brahmatmanaha aparokshatvattu na tatha. But if the vastu is there, right in front of you, like Soyam Devadattaha. So Devadatta 20 years back looked so different. Now Devadatta is right in front of you, but you don't know this is Devadatta, correct? So Devadatta is available to you. The Pratyaksha Jnana of the Vyakti, the individual person is there, but you don't know it is Devadatta. Then somebody comes and says, this is that Devadatta. Means that words now, is it revealing to you Paroksha Jnana or Aparoksha Jnana? Devadatta is very much Pratyaksha there, correct? Therefore, depending on the Vishaya which is revealed, words can reveal either Paroksha Jnanam or Aparoksha Jnanam. This is the Siddhanta. So here, that's what we are saying. Brahmatmanaha aparokshatvattu na tatha. So Brahmatma is Nitya Aparoksha. Therefore, once it is revealed, it is always Aparoksha Jnanam only. Like even here, in fact, author is quoting the Dashama. So, Kintu Dashamastvamasi iti Vakyadiva Jayate eva iti Bodhyam iti. So, the 10th man story we all know. So, whoever the person who is counting forgets to count himself. So, where there needs to be 10 people, he is able to only count 9. Then a passerby comes and says, Dashamastvamasi, you are the 10th man. Correct? And then whatever jnanam he gets there, it is not paroksha, correct? It is aparoksha because it is about oneself. So like that, even Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, Ityadi Mahavakya Janita Jnanam is always aparoksham because Brahmatma itself is, yes, Sakshat Aparokshat Brahma, like that. Okay. So, यदि तु आत्मा द्रष्टव्यः इति श्रुतिगतम् आत्मदर्शनम् आत्मसाक्षात्कारः इति मतं तर्हि आत्मसाक्षात्काराय आत्माकारावृत्तिः जनितव्या इति श्रुत्यर्थः. So therefore what? See, Atmavare Drashtavyah, Shrotavyah, Mantavyah, Nididhyasitavyah. This is there in the Maitreyi Brahmanam in Brihadaranyaka. So that Atma Darshanam, whatever the Shruti is revealing to you, that you should have Atma Darshana. And that Atma Darshana is really the Atma Sakshatkara, correct? That understanding Atma clearly. Okay, the clear understanding of Atma. If you take the Atma Darshanam as Atma Sakshatkara, then for that Atma Sakshatkara, to gain that, you require the Atmakara Vritti. So you need a Vritti in your mind which truly represents the nature of oneself. Because due to ignorance, you are taking yourself wrongly. Your identification, self-identification itself is wrong. So that has to be corrected. And for that, the basically you require a vritti. That's why we say, even my Guruji used to say, just stopping the activity of mind is not enough, correct? Like the yoga says, chitta vritti nirodha. Stop all the vritti itself. We are not saying that. Just stopping all the vritti again, whatever state it may be a desirable state, but it is not an enlightened state. It is only a lightened state, he used to say. We don't want lightening of mind. We want an enlightened mind because you can stop all the chitta vritti, but once it returns back, if you are still the same ajnani, then there is no use of that, correct? Therefore, the vritti is very important. Vritti has to be created. Vrittihi janayitavya iti shrutyartha. So that is the shrutyartha. And atma sakshatkaraha janayitavya ityartha ashrayanepi na doshaha. Okay, even if you say the atma sakshatkara itself has to be created instead of vritti, even then also there is no dosha or defect. Even that view we can take it. Why? Because phalabhutasya jnanasya nitya chaitanya rupatvena ajanayitvatvepi. Okay, so even the phalabhuta jnana, which is oneself, correct? Understanding oneself as the nitya jnanam, the surupa jnanam, that is nitya chaitanya. That is this consciousness which is even free from space-time, etc. And it cannot be created. It is always there. It is nitya. It is ajanayitavya. Correct? It cannot be created. It is not janayitavya. So it has ajanayitat. These are all pronunciation is a problem. Janayitavyatvam is janayitavyatvam. Now ajanayitavyatvam. Anyway, okay. So it cannot be created. It cannot be produced newly. Even though it is like that, what we say, vritti vishishta chaitanyasya adimatvena. The vritti vishishta chaitanya, the chaitanya which manifests in the manovritti, it has, that manifestation has a start. So there is adimatvam is there. There is a beginning for that. And therefore, we can take it like that. So that is produced. The manifestation of consciousness in the atmakara manovritti is fine. We can take it like that. So swakara vritti vishishta chaitanya bhinnam vishaya chaitanyam hi pratyaksha jnanam. So the whatever the manovritti which is in keeping with the atma swarupa. So swakara vritti vishishta. So this is the one which with the manovritti which conditions the consciousness in keeping with its own swarupa. Okay. true to the one Swarupa. And that Chaitanya which becomes a Vishaya for that, that is the Pratyaksha Jnanam. Okay, that is Aparoksha or Pratyaksha here. Atha yadi Atma Upasanam Nama Annam Brahmetyupasita Prano Brahmetyupasita Ityadivat Atma Brahmetyupasita iti Aharyam Atma Vishayakam Brahmadhyanam iti Vivakshitam Tarhi na asmat dhyanat kadachidapi brahmatma sakshatkaraha. So, if we say that the manovritti has to truly represent one's own swarupa, and by that only, and whatever Chaitanya which manifests there, that produces the Atma Sakshatkara, correct? The Aparoksha Jnanam. But instead of that, what? Atha yadi, if you say what? Atma Upasana, one has to do. Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, all these things are really only Upasana. It's a Manasa Kriya, if you say. Atma Upasana Nama. And there are in other places, of course, in Brihadaranyaka itself, all the Saguna Brahma Upasana is specified. So there is Ajata Shatru Brahmana is there, where lot of Saguna Brahma Upasana is given. So Annam Brahmeti Upasita, Prano Brahmeti Upasita, even in Chandogya also there are many Upasanas are there. Okay. So Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, Tat Jalaniti, Shanta Upasita. Like this what? Atma Brahma iti Upasita iti Aharyam, Atma Vishayakam, Brahma Dhyanam. So, like this what? Aharyam means you bring, in fact, there is Adhyaharya and all we say, correct? Really speaking, in the Mahavakya, there is no iti or there is no vidhi there. There is no vidhi suchita kriya pada. Like upasita and all that is not there. It is simply saying tattvamasi. That's all is there, correct? Or aham brahmasmi. Then there is no iti upasita and all is not there. So even what they are doing is they are actually bringing, they are supplying extra. Okay. Like this, you bring extra words, and where there is no necessity of that extra word, they bring in and then make it into dhyanam. Okay. That kind of interpretation is really wrong. Okay, there is no need of bringing in any new words and all that. Unless there is a requirement, nobody should introduce anything extra into the Shruti. Then you are reading whatever you want to read. You really don't want to know what the Shruti is revealing to you. So that is the problem. So even in this case, Atma Brahmeti Upasita, like that they interpret it as Brahma Dhyanam, let us say, and that is what the Shruti really wants to reveal. Brahma Dhyanam iti vivakshitam. Then what do we say? Tarhi na asmat dhyanat. So by this dhyanam, kadachitapi, never Brahmatma Sakshatkara cannot be there, because Upasana itself is atasmin tadbuddhi only. Correct? It is really an adhyaropa, but it is a deliberate superimposition. Correct? Like Shalagrame, Vishnu, Upasita and all that. You can do Upasana, but basically it is because of some Guna Samya only. It is said, and then it is a deliberate Upasana. And Chitta Naishchalya is, you can get from Dhyanam, but Chitta Naishchalyam itself is not Atma Sakshatkara. The Akhandakara Vritti has to be there, and Ajnana has to be removed. Otherwise, even sleep is like that, correct? Everybody can sleep and become a Mukta Purusha. No, that is not the idea. So, Kintu, Evam Anavarate Dhyane Kriyamane Sati Yadi Daivat Brahmatma Akara Antakarana Vritti Udayaha Tadanim Atma Sakshatkaraha Sampadyate. But what? Let us say somebody is doing this Am Brahmasmi iti upasana, anavaratam means incessantly, continuously, without any break and all that. Like that, one is doing dhyana and being like that or doing like that. What? Kriyamane sati. Yadi, if Daiva, due to some punya or whatever, some devata prasada is there, what? Brahmatma akara antakarana vritti udayaha. So let us say the Brahmat akara antakarana vritti is there. It got created, it got produced. Then we accept, then tadanim atma sakshatkaraha sampadyate. Then atma sakshatkara he has gained, he has obtained this clear knowledge of Atma Swarupa. This also we give a whatever a possibility we are conceding. Okay. And so what? Idam cha aham brahmasmi iti asya avritti rupam aharyam dhyanam manda adhikarinam prati vihitam. So even if you say aham brahmasmi iti upasana one is doing, and that avritti rupam aharyam means what? Basically it's an accessory also we can say. Aharyam means you can say dhyana can be an accessory for producing this jnanam. Okay. So it helps you. Dhyana can never be sakshat karana. Even if you say that aham brahmasmi iti, you have to do upasana, you have to do dhyanam, etc. It is only an aharyam, means it is an accessory for that. And that dhyana in turn, while you are doing due to some punya, if you get this vritti, then the vritti destroys the ajnanam. And through that only you are going to get sakshatkara. Is that clear? So that he is making very clear. So even if you say that aham brahmasmi iti, somebody has to do upasana, means that is only for the manda adhikari. The uttama adhikari just needs to do shravanam. Listening itself is good enough to the shastra. Then jnana has to be there. So we do talk about all this adhikari beda is there. So manda, madhyama, uttama adhikari, like this. And also different kind of instructions can be given to different students who are at different level, the mumukshus. So this is all, even if you say like this, it is only for the mandha adhikari. And even here he is using one term, samvadi brahmavat idancha paladameva. So it can, sometimes it can lead you to atma jnanam, he says, this dhyanam, but there is no guarantee. Now what is this samvadi brahma? See, sometimes there is a, in this Vidyaranya talks about, and I think Vellamkonda is very much, he respects Vidyaranya a lot, correct? He became an Advaiti by studying Panchadashi only. So in the Panchadashi, Swami Vidyaranya is talking about Samvadi Brahma and Asamvadi or Visamvadi Brahma, like that. Samvadi Brahma is an interesting case where by mistake you think that something is there, but in reality that thing is there. Okay, that is the Samvadi Brahma. So for example, one traditional example is given is what? You see a streak of light, correct? Now that streak of light can come from anything. It can come from even a candle light, some kind of a lamp light, or it can even come from light reflected from a jewel, let us say, correct? A costly jewel. Now somebody is seeing this streak of light from a distance, and actually that light only he is seeing, but he's actually there is a Brahma only because he mistakes it for the light from a jewel. Okay. And now he is interested because he thinks that something very valuable is there. So when that person goes there, that streak of light could have come from a lamp or it could have really come from even a jewel, correct? Now if it had come from a jewel, then he got whatever he wanted. But still it is only a Brahma, understand that. It is only a Samvadi Brahma which actually led him, but it became successful. Whatever he wanted, he really got. So that is what is called Samvadi Brahma here. Even though you had erroneous cognition, but the erroneous cognition led you to whatever you really wanted. So that is also a possibility sometimes. So like that only, even if somebody does Aham Brahmasmi iti upasana and all that, maybe due to some Daiva Anugraha, they get even then they have to get the Akhandakara Vritti, and Ajnana has to be destroyed. That can happen. There is a possibility, but we cannot say it will happen always. But so again, it is not what apituna sadyaf phaladam, and it doesn't give result immediately because you don't know. You keep on doing the dhyanam, whether it will happen or not, we don't know. Therefore, what kintu kala vilambena. So even if you say that you have to do this dhyanam of aham brahmasmi, how long you have to do the dhyanam? We don't know. Okay. So therefore, what atayeva idam dhyanam amaranat aharaha kartavyam asakrit iti uchyate. Therefore, it is said simply what do they say? Till the time you die, amaranat aharaha every day kartavyam asakrit. You have to do every day, all the time. Okay, continuously, repeatedly, you have to do. Okay, this dhyanam. That is what it is said. Therefore, what tasmat yadi Ramanujena nididhyasitavyaha iti shruti vihitam atmadhyanam aham brahmasmi iti aharya rupam iti abhibhakatam tarhina tat sakshat mukti sadhanam. Therefore, what even let us say Ramanuja has taken the nididhyasitavyaha is there, correct? And he has interpreted it as it is basically shruti vihita atmadhyana. So Shruti has now mandated you to do this aham brahmasmi iti atmadhyanam, like that. Even then, that atmadhyanam is only an accessory, as I told you. It is aharya rupam means basically it is an aid for this atma sakshatkara we can take, but it cannot sakshat. It's not a direct mukti sadhana. It is not a direct means for mukti sadhana. We cannot accept it like that. But kintu what? But what? Brahma sakshatkara janaka vritti janana dwara eva. So, what is the direct sadhana or means for moksha? The Brahma Sakshatkara Janaka, the vritti. So, the vritti which gives rise to the clear understanding of Brahman. That alone is the moksha sadhana or the means for moksha. Yaditu Brahmatma akara antakarana vritti rupam iti angikritam tarhi tadapi na sakshat mukti sadhanam. So even what do we say? See, in this all there is actually a krama is there. So he's just pointing out. See, even when we say that Brahmatma akara antakrani vritti rupam is only it is a moksha sadhana and all that. But even that, how does it give you moksha? Means basically by generating the Brahma Sakshatkara, he's saying. So kintu Brahma Sakshatkara janana dwara eva. So even the vritti by itself does not give moksha, but the vritti destroys the ajnana, and then due to that you gain a certain Brahma Sakshatkara, and that alone is really moksha. Therefore, what evam in this manner, ubayathapi jnanadeva sakshan muktihi iti siddhatvena katham jnanat muktihi iti advaitavadasya pratikshepah. So, whichever way you look at it, whether you do dhanam or you do shravana mananadi and gain this atmakara vritti, finally the sakshatkara is only through the vritti and by the production of jnanam. Whether you go through dhyana or whether you do only shravana manana, etc., or you do all of them. In fact, nididhyasana is for 99% of the people, nididhyasana is required because it's not easy to overcome the effects of the prarabdha or the whatever natural tendency one has to take oneself as the body mind sense complex. Therefore, all these things are required. Okay. But finally, jnanam alone can give moksha. That being the case, why Ramanuja, etc., are opposing pratikshepaha? Katham? How can they even oppose? Even for them also, they have to claim that the sakshatkara they are talking about anyway, correct? They also talk about Brahma sakshatkara, means that is jnanam only. So jnana only can give moksha. So why opposing this jnana deva to kaivalyam? So katham va dhyana deva muktihi iti swavadasya sthapanam cha. Then why do they oppose this, and how do they even establish that this dhyana alone will give mukti? Their own vada, their own opinion, okay, or their own contention. How do they establish that? Means now the Purva Pakshi again comes. What does he say? ननु साक्षात्कार रूपात् ज्ञानादेव मुक्तिः परन्तु या अन्ते मतिः सा गतिः इति न्यायात् अन्तकाल उपलक्षितादेव तस्मान् मुक्तिः अत एव तस्य तावदेव चिरं यावन्न विमोक्ष्ये अथ संपत्स्ये इति ब्रह्मविदः कैवल्यं प्रति प्रारब्ध अवसान समय निरीक्षणं श्रूयते. Okay, Purva Pakshi is now conceding that what Sakshatkara Rupat Jnanadeva Mukti. So we also accept that Saksha Brahma Sakshatkara Rupa Jnanam only will give Mukti. But then what? There is a Nyaya. What? There is a general saying that Ya Ante Matihi Sagatihi. So whatever you are thinking at the time of your death, that only will give you the Gati. So even in Gita it is there, correct? Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tam eveti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavitaha. In the 8th chapter it is there. Anta kale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yah prayati samadbhavam yati natyatra samshayaha. Like this, Bhagavan says, whichever thing, whatever is the thought, correct? Yam yam vapi smaran, thinking of which you are, whatever you give up the body, then the whatever the next birth etc is based on that last thought. That doesn't mean that you can do whatever you want in this life and then you will somehow manage to think, have the right thought at the time of death. That is not going to happen like that, understand? Because at the time of death everything is disintegrating. You won't have any control and all that. It all basically depends on whatever samskara you have had throughout the life. But anyway, even the Bhagavata, there is Ajamila story and all that. Where he says Narayana at the end and then he then goes to, even there is even explicit verses are there in the Bhagavata like that, that whoever says Narayana, or even that's why I think we name all our children with some Bhagavan Nama, correct? At least if you have some attachment with your children, you think of their name while you are dying, means at least that Bhagavan Nama Smaranam will give you Sadgati like this. There is a there is a there is an idea is there, that is the yante matihi sagatihi, like that. That's what, that is the nyaya that is the principle he is quoting here. Therefore that's why we are saying that at the time of the death you should be saying aham brahmasmi, aham brahmasmi. That must be the thought. Okay, and based on that only whether you will get mukti or not, it will be decided. If you think of something else, like Jadabharata became so attached to a deer, and then he thought about the deer, and then next life he had to take a deer life. Okay. So this story also is there in the Bhagavata. So like that, whatever you think, the time of the death is important. That's why we are saying throughout the life, you have to do this dhyanam. So atayeva. Also what, even in the Shruti it is there. See, in the Chandogya, tasya tavadeva chiram yavanna vimokshe atha sampatsye. So that means what? Only till the time this body is there, then the karma continues. Once this body falls, then he becomes one with this sadvastu. There is no more rebirth, etc. This is about the Videha Mukti only. The Shruti is talking, the Chandogya Shruti. So till the time, up to the time this body does not fall, this karma continues. Then once it falls, then he becomes one with Brahman alone. And therefore, iti the Brahmavidaha Kaivalyam Prati Prarabdha Avasana Samaya Nirikshanam Kruyate. So even for the Brahmavid, the Prarabdha has to be exhausted. Okay, it has to come to a stop. Prarabdha Avasana Samaya. So whenever this Prarabdha ends and the body falls, till that one has to wait. Nirikshanam you have to do. This has been revealed in the Shruti itself, he's saying, with reference to Vidya Mukti. That is why we are saying that dhyana is important. Okay? And what further what? Tacha antakalikam atma jnanam jivat dashayam anavarata atma bhavana vashadeva jayate. So how do you get that at the end, at the time of death? How do we get the thought that aham brahmasmi means during living jivat dashayam, while you are living, what anavarata atma bhavana vashad means? Anavaratam means again incessant, continuously, okay, without any stop. The atma bhava, aham brahmasmi iti atma bhava, you should have. Only if you have like that, tasya vashadeva jayate. This at the end of the whatever life also, you will get this thought. Okay, antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. Like Bhagavan says. So for that, you have to keep thinking about the same thing throughout the life. Therefore, what tataha aharaha atma sakshatkaraha kartavyaha. Therefore, every day you have to keep doing this atma sakshatkara. Even though you had this atma sakshatkara once, it is not enough according to them. Every day you have to keep doing this dhyanam and having this atma sakshatkara. Otherwise, what? Anyathatu pata sakshatkarena gata sakshatkarasya iva अनात्म साक्षात्कारेण आत्म साक्षात्कारस्य नष्टत्वात् अंतकाले यदि दैवात् अनात्म साक्षात्कारः संभवेत् तर्हि ब्रह्मविदः अपि पुनर्जन्म अवश्यं भावी. So पुनर्जन्म अवश्यं भावी इति न मुक्तिः. So this is their idea. What he is saying is like even the patasaksha, you know the cloth, but then what you look at the part means the cloth cognition is gone. Like that, Atma Sakshatkara you had, fine. But then what? Just before dying, you had Anatma Sakshatkara. You looked at something Anatma, and therefore what happens? The Atma Sakshatkara is gone. Because you looked at Anatma at the time of death. And therefore what? This is also Daivat, he says. Yedi Daivat, due to some Papa, let us say. Then what? At the time of death, even for Brahmavid, Anatma Sakshatkara only is there. There is a possibility. It can be there. Therefore, what? You will get Punarjanma. Avashyam Bhavi. It will definitely be there. You have to get Punarjanma. And therefore, there is no Mukti. Like this. Therefore, only we are saying every day you have to do Dhyanam. Even if you have Atma Sakshatkara. If you say like this, what? Na etad yuktam. This is not proper. Why? Brahmavidaha videha muktim prati prarabdhavasana samaya nirikshanam chutya uchyate. So we also accept. The Shruti does talk about prarabdha. Prarabdha is there for the jnani also, and till the time the prarabdha is there, the body has to be there. Because Shankara also gives the example of the mukta issue and all that, correct? The Adi Shankara talks about the arrow which has already left the bow. Till the momentum, which is like the prarabdha is there, the arrow will keep moving, or you switch off a fan, is still rotating for some time. Or even Sureshwaracharya gives another interesting analogy. He says that there is this samsara vriksha is there, correct? This vriksha analogy is there. Urdhva moolam, adhashakam, ashwattham, prahuravyayam and all in Gita is there. It is there in Kathopanishad also. So let us say samulam. You have destroyed or you have removed the vriksha along with the roots, and you have put it in the ground. Even then what? Immediately it is not dead. It is still green for some time, correct? Till the time all that water and all it desiccates, correct? It evaporates and all that. Then only it becomes a kashta. It becomes dry wood, then it is dead. It is not immediately, it is not dead. Even if you have taken it out along with the root, etc., the plant is not immediately dead. In fact, you can even take it and replant it somewhere else, it may come. It may survive. So, like that, even after Atma Sakshatkara Jnanam, whatever this karma which has already started fructifying, that will keep going only. Okay. That you have to, by experience only, you have to exhaust it. That Bhashyakara also accepts, even in the Brihadaranyaka Bhashya, even in Brahma Sutra Bhashya also it is there. And in fact, it is Ishtapati for us. It is required also. Why? We'll see that. In fact, even Bellangonda will talk about it. So we accept that whatever you quoted, this Tasya Tavadeva Chiramanal is talking about Videya Mukti of a Jnani, and it even says that even Jnani has to wait till the Prarabdha is exhausted, then only he gets the Videya Mukti. But that doesn't mean that one cannot have Jivan Mukti, because there are so many Shrutis which are talking about Jivan Mukti also, correct? Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati, Atmavid Tarati Shokam, Abhayam Vai Praptosi Janaka, all this, there are, so I can keep on quoting, so many are there. Okay. And also even the very Vidhi, correct? It says what? Tad Vijnanartham, Sa Gurumeva Abhigacche, Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. So you go to a Shrotriyam Brahmanishta Guru. If Brahmanishta means what? Already Atma Sakshatkara has to be there. How can the Shruti send somebody to as soon as Atma Sakshatkara is there, body has to vanish, means there cannot be any Guru. Guru Sishya Parampara and all will be gone. So in fact, that's what he will say here. See, so here, so Shruti Uchyate. So okay, Prarabdha here, yeah, Prarabdha Avasana Samaya Nirikshanam Shrutya Uchyate. Okay, Brahma Jnana Sama Kalameva Brahmibhutattvena Muktasya Brahmavidaha Paritishya Dehaha Prarabdha Avasana Samaya Paryantam Avatishtate iti tadarthaha. So what is the meaning for that? See, as soon as you get Brahma Jnanam, at the same time, Samakalameva, you are Brahman, because Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati, or Brahmavid is the Atma of everything and all that, correct? Sarvatma Bhava, you gain all these things. So Brahmi Bhutatvena, so you are Brahman only. Brahmavid Apnoti Param. Even the Taitriya also says the same thing, where Param is really Brahman only. So Brahmavid Brahma Bhavati. So you are Brahma Bhuta only, Brahmi or Brahmi Bhuta. The Mukta is Brahmi Bhutaha. Therefore, but still what? Brahma Viddaha Paritrishyamanaha Dehaha. So whatever Deha in which you gain this Mukti, okay, through this body mind sense complex only, Manasa Eva Anudrashtavyam. Upanishad also says, correct? Brahma Sakshatkara you gained through the Samskritam Manaha, through the mind which has been well matured and all that, by the teachings of the Shruti and Guru, and also all the Sadhana Chatushtaya, whatever you have. So that Deha has already started, it is there right now, correct? Prarabdha Avasana Samaya Paryantam Avatishtate. So the Deha will continue functioning till the time the Prarabdha ends. That is the meaning for that. So Paryantam Avatishtate iti tadarthaha. So that is the meaning for that. The Deha continues. And in fact, even in the Bhagavata it is said. So he is quoting Bhagavata here, because these people are all Vaishnavas. Here Bellangonda is actually quoting Bhagavata. And what does he say? He says, Dehaha api daiva vashagaha khalu karma yavat tvarambhakam prati samikshata eva sasuhu iti Bhagavata. So even in the Bhagavata what? The Deha is daiva vashaka. Daiva means basically karma only, Papa Punya. So daiva vashagaha karma. In fact, it is said here, Khalu. So the Deha is born out of this karma only. And till the time this karma which has started this body is there, then it will be there. The body has to be there till that time. Like this, even in the Bhagavata it is said. So Nacha Brahma Jnana Kala Eva Yedi Muktihi Tarhi Brahma Vidaha Dvaita Darshanam Nasya. Okay, now the Purva Bakshi comes and says what? So we have said that the prarabdha and the body, etc., should continue, means now the Purvapakshi says that means Dvaita is there. Dvaita Darshana is there. Okay. So what you are saying, or what we are saying, he is saying is what? If you say that at the time of Brahmajnanam only you gain mukti, but and also say Brahma with has Dvaita Darshanam, we cannot accept that. It is contradictory. Either you have to say Brahma with does not have Advaita Darshana, therefore there cannot be any Jivan Mukti. Or if you say the Brahmavid has had Advaita Darshanam and Atma Sakshatkara, then Dvaita Darshana itself cannot be there. So he says Brahmavidaha Dvaita Darshanam Nasyat. But if Dvaita Darshana is not there, what is the problem? That is not Ishtapatti for the Advaitin. So Nacha Ishtapatti for the Advaitin, that is not desirous. Why? Because Adhyatma Vidya Sampradaya Ucheda Prasangat, if Dvaita Darshana is not there, like I said, nobody can go to a Brahmanishta Guru. Okay. And the Upanishad is saying that you have to go to a Brahmanishta Guru. Gita also says that Tadvidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya Upadekshanti Te Jnanam Jnaninas Tattvadarshinaha. So Jnaninaha Tattvadarshinaha Upadekshanti. All these things are there in the Gita. And the Upanishad also says that. So how are you going to then have this Guru Shishya Parampara? Okay, so Adhyatma Vidya Sampradaya itself will be destroyed. Uchcheda Prasangat Tattva Vidahi Yogyaya Shishyaya Adhyatma Vidya Upadeshtavya. Because it is very clear, the one who already knows the Tattva, the reality, only can teach a Shishya who is qualified, correct? Yogyaya Shishyaya Adhyatma Vidya Upadeshtavya. The Adhyatma Vidya should be instructed or revealed or taught to a qualified Shishya by only a Tattvavit. And even your own Shankaracharya says, in fact, Shankaracharya says, Asampradaya with. Even we also say not only a Tattva with, but a Sampradaya with. The Guru has to know the Sampradaya or the teaching methodology and all that. Only such a person can really teach. Okay. So, that being the case, Tattvavid Upadishtam eva jnanam avidya nivartana kshamam iti Shankaracharya eva uktatvat Gita Bhashye. So now the Purva Pakshi is quoting the Shankaracharya and saying that even in the Gita Bhashya, Asampradaya with has to be actually rejected, like this and all. Shankaracharya himself has said, because only a Tattvavid only can really teach this Jnanam, and that alone will remove Ajnanam. Otherwise, this Ajnana cannot be removed. Okay, and further what? Such a Tattvavid yadi Shishya Shastradi Dvaita Darshi Tarhi Naiva Tattvavid. But then you are all talking about Advaita. If the Tattvavid really sees the Shishya and Shastra, etc., then he becomes only a Dvaita Darshi. And therefore, according to you only, he is not a Tattvavite. Therefore, what? This is the general Dvaiti argument. Okay. Therefore, Tattvavidaha Muktatvat Muktasya cha Dvaita Darshana Yogat Yedi tu Dvaita Darshi Tarhi Upadesha Asiddhihi Eva iti Na Vachyam. The nerve you have to connect from here. That's why they have put it in bold. The nerve which is there here, you have to connect with this Vachyam. So all these things are said by the Purva Pakshi. So he says, such a Tattva Vidya with the Yadi Shishya Shastradi Dvaita Darshi. So if he is a Dvaita Darshi, then he is not really a Tattva Darshi. And if he is a Dvaita Darshi only, he can teach. But if he is an Advaita Darshi, then there cannot be any Upadesha. Upadesha Siddhi will be there. So how are you going to reconcile this? This is the argument of the Purva Pakshi. If the Purva Pakshi says like that, what do we say? No, that is the answer he is giving. Yatha Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swabhava Swabhavaha api Ishvaraha Ajnanat jivaihi jataha iva mritaha iva samsari iva drishtaha tadvat brahmavidapi ajnana jivaihi vyavaharan iva drishyate natu swadrishtya ishwarasya iva brahmavidaha kopi vyavaharaha. So now we are attacking them using their own their own thing. They, if they raise this objection to the Brahmavid, then what about Ishvara Avatara? They also accept that Krishna taught Arjuna, Rama taught Arjuna, and Rama and Krishna are all, they are all teachers, and they are asamsaris, correct? Even according to them, they are not really samsaris, or they are not doing anything really. Bhagavan himself says, Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagasha tasya kartaram api mam vidya akartaram avyayam. Or he says, Name partasti kartavyam trishlokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam vartayevacha karmani. Like this, there are so many things are there. So even for you, Bhagavan is a jnani, Bhagavan is akarta, abhokta, but Bhagavan appears. It looks like Bhagavan is born, Rama is born, Krishna is born, and Krishna died, correct? Or Rama went into the Sarayu river and gave up the body and all that we see. Now the jivas, if you ask them, then that is all jiva drishti, they will say. Correct? They have also have to say that the jivas only think like that. But from Bhagavan's own drishti, Bhagavan is what? Ajopi sannavyayatma bhutanam ishwaropi san prakritim swamadhishtaya sambhavam atma mayaya. It is only atma maya. I am really ajaha. Correct? Ajopi san avyayatma. I am avyayaha. I don't have it. I am really unborn, unchanging reality. Only by Maya, I appear as though I am born or I am living, etc. So if you accept that for Ishvara, okay, then the same thing applies to the Jnani also. Correct? So that is what we are saying here. So samsari iva drishta. Ishvara is samsari iva drishta. As though he is a samsari, he is in. Because Rama cries in the forest and all we see, correct? After losing Sita, if you read the Ramayana, it is very graphic details and all Valmiki is saying, and is inconsolable. Then can you say that really Rama was sad and all that? So how do we look at all that? So similarly, what Brahmavidapi Ajnanat Jivaihi Vyavaharan Niva Drishyate. For the Jiva only, the Brahmavid Vyavahara is real. But from one's own standpoint, the Brahmavid does not look upon oneself as a samsari or one who is a karta bhokta. So, natu swadrishtya ishwarasya iva brahmavidaha kopi vyavahara. The brahmavida with doesn't have any vyavahara. So, karmani akarma yaf pashyet. That is the idea. Even though some karma is happening, everything is what? Guna guneshu vartante iti matvana sajjate. Is all the gunas acting amongst themselves. I am not really the karta. Okay, that is the drishti of the brahmavid. And this is also said in the what taduktam Adhyatma Ramayane Vishwamitrena, and Vishwamitra says this in the Adhyatma Ramayana. In fact, Adhyatma Ramayana is part of Brahmanda Purana. So it is supposed to have been written by Vyasa only. So he is again quoting from the Purana. He says what does Vishwamitra say? Ramaha na gacchati, na tishtati, na anushochati, na akangshate, tyajati, no na karoti, kinchit. So Rama does not go, Rama does not stand or sit, he does not grieve, he does not wait for anybody, or he is not like, he has not given up anything, he does not do anything in fact. Na kinchit karoti. In fact, he is what? Ananda Murtihi Achalaha Parinamahinaha. He is Ananda Surupa and he is Achalaha. He doesn't move or have any activity. He doesn't change also. Parinamahinaha. He doesn't have any parinama. Maya Gunan Anugataha Hi Tatha Vibhati. But all these things, whatever he did in Ramayana, it is all only Maya Anuguna, means only due to Maya. Maya Eva, he appears like that. Therefore, what iti bija ajnana vashat gamanadiman iva ramaha vibhati ityarthaha. So only due to the ajnana, the jivas think that Rama really did all these things. It's all only, Rama only appears due to ignorance like that. In reality, Rama is Ananda Swarupaha, is Avyayaha, Ajaha, Parinamayinaha, all that. Okay. Therefore, Nacha Ishvara Ajnana Vashad Ityeva Arthaha iti Vachyam Ishwarasya Ajnana Yogat. Okay, then what? What if the Purvabhagi says, no, Ishvara also has Ajnana. Why can't Ishvara have Ajnana? Means you cannot say that. Why? Because Ishvara is Sarvajnaha. And in that Sarvajnatvam, there is no Ajnana. Ishvara has Atmajnanam also. In the Sarvajnatvam, Atmajnanam also is there. So Ishvara cannot have any Ajnana. Ajnana Ayogat Ishvarasya. Ishvara is not fit to be having any Ajnana. Therefore, what Yetena Jnana Utpattau api Bheda Vasanayaha Anuvrittau Nivartakantara Abhavat Na Tasyaha Nivrittihi Syaditi Pratiuktam. So what is the answer we are giving now to the objection he raised? From all these things, what do we say? Even though jnana is born, jnana has happened, jnana has been gained, but the Veda Vasana continues. Like even the fan rotates for some time, or the tree has greenness for some time, like that, or the arrow goes for some time because it has already left the bow, like that. So the Veda Vasana can continue. And because the cause for that Veda Vasana is the karma which has already started. And until that cause is there, it will appear. So, Nivartaka Antara Abhava Na Tasyaha Nivrittihi. So, there is the whatever which has to remove it, that is not there. Therefore, it doesn't go away. Therefore, Dvaita Darshana is not a problem. Only Dvaita Satyatvam is a problem, really speaking. And in fact, the Jivan Mukti is talked about in so many Shrutis. He is now quoting all that. Vidyate Hridaya Grantihi Chidyante Sarva Samshayaha Shiyante Chasya Karmani Tasmin Drishte Paravare. So the Hridaya Granthi is all the knots in your heart. Means all the ignorance, different types of ignorance are gone from your intellect. All the doubts are gone. All karma also are gone. So from the Swadrishtya, even Prarabdha is not there for the Jnani. Understand that. There is no reality to any of these things. But since the Prarabdha has already started, it is just going for some time. So even that is Bhasmasat Kurute. Arjuna, like that, Bhagavan also says, Jnanagni Sarva Karmani Bhasmasat Kurute. All karma is really gone, but this one is still lingering. That's all we have to say. So these things are said. And also Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati Ityadi Shrutibhyaha Jnana Samakalam Eva Mukti Shravanat Nasti Tattvavidaha Bhedasya Jnanasya Va Vasanayaha Anuvrittihi iti. So from one's own standpoint, for the Jnani, there is no Bheda or Ajnana or anything. Okay? That is the important thing. And therefore, Kincha Jnanat Pragabi Nasti Eva Atmanaha Kopi Bandhaha Kutastatvat Atmanaha. Further what? Even before you add any jnana, in reality, Atma is always unchanging reality, correct? It is always Shuddha, in fact. Nitya Shuddhaha, Nitya Muktaha. It is Kutastaha. It is there unchanged. It is like the anvil which is unchanging in the blacksmith shop. Therefore, how can it have all these things afterwards? Katam punaha sa paschat bhavishyati. Like this, he is saying, okay, some more is there in this section. We will see that in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।